And moving on from that conversation, we are now joined by SABC Channel Africa journalist and analyst, that is Izak Khomo. Izak, good evening and welcome to African Perspective. Just listening into what Leon had to say there earlier on, I guess it goes without saying that domestic affairs will always overshadow international affairs.
Oh yes, good evening to you, good evening to our listeners and also to our viewers. Yes, what you're saying is actually true. Africa basically has got its own problems, and its problems are becoming even tougher right now. I mean, you find that as you're talking, that there's problems in Ethiopia, there are problems in Mali, there are problems in Ivory Coast, Uganda, Tanzania. Yeah, so basically, although there's this very important issue of American elections, but I think the local problems are also quite heavy.
Mm-hmm. What then do we also make around this declaration of the 11 candidates, and these 11 candidates, of course, including the incumbent Yoweri Museveni, who has served for 34 years. And I was just thinking, listening into Leon's report earlier on, that you look at Yoweri Museveni having served for 34 years and Bobi Wine being 38 years, meaning that he was 2 years old when Yoweri Museveni took office.
Oh yeah, I think it was about 4 years old. That's the truth, and that's the irony of African leaders. I mean, certainly Museveni, you've got President B of Cameroon in a similar situation. Yeah, and of course he had a gentleman, old man next door. But then, if we look at these two countries, Cameroon, a francophone country, and again Uganda, and the length of time these two people have served, you find that these people, although that we are criticizing them for serving that length of time, one thing which is clear that people should understand, that these people basically, they did that with the connivance of the Western countries. I mean, the Western countries would actually come heavily on people who are unpopular. Mm-hmm. But people who were really part and parcel of the Western geopolitics, like Museveni was, and like BAEs to the Franco-Afrique relationship, you know, they are actually encouraged, and they go on regardless. So basically, you know, there is a lot than what meets the eye.
There's a lot that meets the eye, and I know that this conversation with Yoweri Museveni, we're looking at his tenure, that he has served for 34 years, but also his age. He is, 76 years old, but then you juxtapose that to the presidential candidates in the U.S. Donald Trump is 74 years old, and then you have Biden, who is 77 years old. What does this then tell us about the strongmen in politics?
Well, the strongman in politics, you know, first of all, you know, Africa is a young colony. I mean, my apologies. Africa is it's a young continent, and also the country's average age of the people is about in their 30s, in their 40s. Yeah, but the leaders like Museveni, they're in their 70s. But again, you find that the same thing is happening in the USA. You know, the age mates, 74, 77, 76. And then if we were gone to Israel, the late Rabin, who was the former president of Israel, he was 90-something and he was elected there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and nobody said anything, you know. But I think personally, that's me personally thinking, age does not really matter much. What matters much is basically being relevant. Yeah, to the electorate.
I think that age...
if you know that you're a youth and you're a politician, and you can actually basically talk to them and deliver fair and well, you know, you will be relevant. But if age really doesn't come, it's being relevant. So, but with African leaders, being relevant is a thing which is not with them.
I think that age actually matters a lot, considering that there was that little one who was trying to push open the door and allow herself to enjoy the opportunities that lie ahead. That is Izak Khomo. He continues being with us as we unpack the U.S. elections, but also unpacking the U.S. elections from an African perspective. We continue with our analysis just after this.